Hi guys, I hope you're doing fine. I know that we have a few people already waiting, about 20 people already live across YouTube and Twitter, or X now. So it's a great day. The end of 7 days of intense competitions. I've been very surprised with what I've seen so far. It's been great. All right, so all right, let's have a look. What's going on? So we're gonna quickly have a look at the Guardians. Some people are depositing some value here. Wow, a very large deposit, 333.33 Ether, $1 million. Obviously, this is fake money, guys. And yeah, across the board, people just going big and signing off with the signature move for the last few minutes of that testing phase. We still have like 45 minutes exactly, right? But I think given how people can utilize the pump pool very late in the cycle, I think the current ranking is likely to be the closing one as it relates to the winners. We'll still wait because sometimes people click buttons they should not click. So if any of the top contenders oversell the price or buy off the market or do something stupid, then there will be an opportunity for anyone to jump in. So I will recommend anyone to be attentive to it for the next 45 minutes because across all different cohorts, we have a total of $30,000 being distributed as a giveaway by myself on behalf of the ULTI Foundation. They is soon to be incorporated. And yes, this is looking good, and it's going to be an extra $3,000 going to be distributed for outstanding contributions. So it could be anything from UX. We may be publishing the logs of the entire week. So someone suggested that they would want to do some analysis on the logs and publish a report. So that could count, for example, as an outstanding contribution. So we'll review all of the DMs, all of the messages, public posts that are being done with regard to the testing phase and the ULTI, the UI, suggestion about the protocol, the tokenomics, the contribution in the testing phase itself, and we will distribute these extra $3,000. Okay, let's quickly look at the chat. Wow, we have Mackenzie live on X. We have Luke Warfield. I don't know if it's the one that did this massive deposit at the end. We have Fair Cooney. Yes, Warfield wants to analyze it. Yeah, we had a few people asked for the logs. I still need to decide how I'm going to go about it. I'm sure they're going to be interesting, but they're not going to be representing exactly what we expect for the launch. I'm going to touch on it today. So the only thing is I don't want it to be misleading that people think, okay, this is the way I need to go about it. Because in the testing phase, this is what was the most profitable. I don't want to skew people down that road. So we'll see what we do. But I'd like, to be as transparent as possible. Already doing 10 times more than anyone else in this space. And just go above and beyond and just give away these logs. If not, they might be just disclosed after the launch. That could be another strategy. Yeah, the other thing that could be done is we're planning to launch not being financially incentivized, but launch another version of that testing phase. I will just touch on it today. And there's two versions that could be done. One on a private testnet as we did today, or one could be on the Sepolia a public testnet, so people will be actually able to use all the tools they already know and love, like Etherscan will be available, and do some deep dive, right? We might just change the acceleration to be more sustainable for people's health. I know that some people haven't been sleeping too much, so instead of like 365, it just might be like 33 acceleration, which is very reasonable. But still, let us, like, for a few weeks before we go live, get us very interesting data. All right. I'm not gonna bother you too much with I think the ranking. I think you guys already have been, there's, I think 30 people, 30 more people currently live on the website watching, and I'm suspecting that it's mostly the testers. So please do not transact past the deadline. That would not be counted. So the counter is there for you just to avoid doing any mistakes. And if you have refreshed properly the app, in any case, you should have one transaction that I implemented yesterday. So yeah, make sure you refresh the. If you're using mobile, make sure that you're refreshing the version, reloading the website there. It's less common on mobile, using the mobile smart wallet for people just to hit the refresh button. But because I've seen some people sharing screen in DMs that say, "Oh, you're using the previous version has been updated a few times since since yesterday." So, all right, we introduce the price chart. It's a mini chart. It's better than nothing. But as you can see, guys, last week when we started, I invite you just to rewatch in 2x mode the Thursday when we launched a week ago, and where we are now, how the UI has evolved, the features. There was no swap enabled. We enabled about 24 hours after launch. That created some very, very interesting dynamic. Yeah, the experience is faster. You have prices and all of the thing that you get right now. Just to tell you how nice we've been preparing stuff. None of the things that you're getting on your screen is coming from any server of mine. It's coming directly from the blockchain. I mean, the blockchain itself is the server. So it's, I think, beautiful technical fit, because that means that, yeah, even for the price, you're interacting directly with no intermediate server processing anything there. So once we open source the front, everybody's going to be able to run their own front end if they wish so, and we're going to have, I think, a couple of backups as well on different hosting provider to make sure that the ULTI.org will be up at all time. And if that were to go down for whatever reason, you have a bunch of backups ready. They're up and running. Not only that, yeah, the front end will be open source. Probably not at launch, but I think a few weeks down the line, it will be open source. That will help people just to build on top of it and adding, suggesting features, so that we don't have to do everything ourselves at the ULTI Foundation. Right now, it's just me, guys, and I just had a meeting with my legal team a few days ago, and yeah, we are just exploring the best jurisdiction to get that foundation started. Right? We're looking at Switzerland, where a lot of crypto foundation keep towards that project because they crypto friendly. They have been historically for the past 10 years, very forward looking in Switzerland, and historically they are one of the best country when it comes to privacy in the world. So I think it's very appealing. Otherwise, obviously, because of my background, it could be in France and based in Paris. It could be also Portugal, Dubai. Yeah, we're exploring a couple of different solutions for that. All right, we have 40 minutes before the end of the testing phase. I know some people are busy clicking buttons and trying to pump back the price because they've got a bunch of ULTI and they want maybe outrank some of their competitors that are maybe more ETH heavy. So I'll wait a little bit and then we can move on to little debrief of the testing phase, what we learned, what were the goals, what happened, what we learned, the next steps, and announcing the winners. Usually the winners themselves, there's going to be tentative announcements because some people may have cheated. I hope not. I think the experience has been great in terms of like engaging with all of you guys, more than 50 testers. Most people are very, very active and reporting issues. Just make sure that everything is clean and no accounts transfer any value to any other accounts. Also doing some sort of timing analysis on what is the likelihood of two accounts just playing games together. That would be counted as cheated because you just it's like having two accounts basically. So there's different ways to transfer value from accounts to the other. So I'll just be very, very strict because first of all, it's my money. I don't want to give money away from free for people that are exploiting the system. And the goal was to learn and test the UX, the contract, the experience, what could be improved before we go live, because ULTI is immutable. There's no ICO, no sack phase, no founder allocation. It's totally immutable, right? Which is extremely rare. I mean, there's most likely, apart from Uniswap V1, V2, I'd say, there's almost no contract that is launched without any ICO and completely immutable. You can make the case that some meme coins may be in that fashion, but the issue is there's often either taxes on selling or buying. There's often pre-allocation with liquidity and rugs. So ULTI is different. Your entire community is building and operating the ecosystem by depositing liquidity into the pump pool and liquidity pool, and eventually pumping if you're some of the outstanding contributors lucky enough to become Guardian. We're about 70 people across X and YouTube. I think once we reach 100 people, I'll just start the presentation that I put together. It's been a long time I haven't done any slides. Okay, a few people just asked me earlier that they'd love to join the stream, just to even could be anonymous and keep the camera off. So I'm gonna just share the link with these few individuals, and come on in. I don't know if I got a restriction on how many people can join, but right. It looked like the last cohort, 333 ETH, is pretty much settled. So I don't want to announce any winner ahead of time, but it's looking really, really good. It's very interesting that rank 3 and rank 4 are extremely tight. I mean, the amount of ULTI in the pocket and Ether. I mean, rank 4 could still take over. This is, I don't know. Both of them are Guardians. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. They are a bit closer earlier. Glad to see. And not so far from rank 2. but yeah, in about 30 minutes, it's going to be hard just to take over that one. The rank 1 is well above, both in Ether and ULTI. The second cohort, what do we have? Wow. I call it the forgotten cohort. The winners here, very interesting. They have maybe a bit more, they have a bit more, yes, Ether and ULTI that they had at the beginning. Some people just came back to their original amount. Wow. Wow. 93 F3, stellar player. He finishes with 33.333 ETH, 2 billion ULTI, and he deposited, I believe, 33.33 ETH. And he pumped till 33. Damn. I like this guy. I really like this guy. He's finishing with style. He's number 2. He's been pulling insane streak the entire week. Barely sleeping. And now he's finishing by just signing off with the ULTI number. That is fantastic play. Okay, let's look at cohort number 1. This one has been mind-blowing. I really want to understand what went on, because I mean, the first players, I'm not kidding, nearly the first 2 players of this, well, this is even better than that. It turns out that in the smallest cohort, the first individual is finishing ahead. Let me check. He's ahead of everybody. That is remarkable. I mean, just for that fact, I think we will have to publish the logs to understand what went on. To start with 3 Ether. Listen to me, everybody. He started with 3 Ether a week ago. It was 10K, maybe less than that, the price of ETH. It was 8K, and is at $2 million, $0.5. Outstanding player. But number two that court as well. These two, well done. Well done. All right, we have a question from Fair that asks, do you think in real money people will play different than on test phase? Will be additional bonuses as before? Yes. That will be different. This is expected. We're gonna cover it in the slide. But before all of that, let me go by the really outstanding player. Is anyone doing strict at the moment? I've seen one. Yeah, cool. Wow, number 1 of the second court is currently running. These two, okay, running crazy streak. Yeah, I mean, they're just highlighting maybe that the reason why I think they're a bit weaker, because they went for the streak strategy, so sharing a lot with us, and he's finishing strong on that streak. Yeah, really well done. He must have like a 33% multiplier on the streak already, and you just apply that on top of the deposit, so very tasty over time. All right, okay, let's share the link. Right. All right, we have Ifi Sucre, we have Luke, we have Gentleman Trader, we have There are a few folks over there. Right, let me know. Let me know in DM if we have a bunch of folks that said they would want to come in. Anyone else in the chat? You can let me know, and I'll share the link with you. Because I will. This is the final 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes left, and we'll be able to wrap up. So, anyone interested, just please jump on the stream. I share with you to 5 people. I share the link, and then you can just share your experience, feedback, what you like, what you disliked, what you expect for the real version coming in a month. Yeah, things are very stable now. I'm not expecting rank 4 to take over across most cohort. There was an opportunity here. Maybe there still is for 1552. But hey, maybe they just decided just to leave it for the other accounts. It was surprising. I think it was cohort number. This cohort here, these guys, they are very close. They had a lot of ETH left, and they could have reacted just maybe earlier in the day. I think we're on Saturday. Jump in, utilize the ETH when the price was a bit lower, try to accumulate, but it looks they haven't contributed. They may have just dip in a few ETH at the very beginning, just based on the account, and then never returned. So, all right. Something to notice is you also have like at the bottom of all these lists. I don't want to forget all the other party participants. Is like, the money is gone. We have a bunch of folks where, I mean, they ended up like that guy is just $20. Second cohort, he finishes with $20. $55. First cohort, and here. Yeah, started with 800K, almost 900K a week ago, and see ya, 1K. Some people have, traded, did well. Some people have traded and did extremely poorly. I mean, extremely poorly. So they wanted to outsmart someone. It was a bit funky when we launched the swap features. The quote system was not there. The unwrapping was not there. So maybe something happened during these very volatile times. All right, so we have a newcomer, Ify Cyber. I will put you on stage. If you have anything you want to share with us, welcome.
Hi, Steph.
Hi, how's it going?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, fine, thank you. So it has been a fierce 1 week. Like there were days when I would wake up every 2 hours so I could, try and be on the Guardian list again. It has been hectic. That guy, I think D3F3 or something. That guy is a beast. I don't know. I don't even know if he's
93,
a male or
93 F3.
female.
Yeah, I'm highlighting
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
that person is a beast. Like Like at first, I thought that was a robot. You know, I thought that was a robot at
Yeah,
some point.
I mean, there's some people are really. I know for a fact that some people put alarm. I know some people may have just had some help with like, hey, just with a friend on the on different time zones, say, hey,
Well,
just help me out.
okay.
Yeah, help me out. Maybe we can make some money with the test. Uh, some people may have actually paid someone just to help them. I mean, I cannot know that, right? So this is the
Mhm.
limit of the testing phase. But regardless, yeah, the contribution and the commitment to winning has been outstanding.
Yeah, I know. So I lost most of my ETH at first because the price of ULTI was higher. So getting minting ULTI was
Hmm.
wasn't much ULTI to mint at first. But then when
Yes.
people began to when the swapping was enabled, I had gone through most of my ETH. So I had to manage, and keep trying to stay on the guardian table, even though I got knocked out multiple times. Yeah, but it's
Wow.
a good one. This is my first testing. This is my first testing, and hopefully, I could do better. I think I'll do better in real life because I think one
Hmm.
really has to look for price stability. Also, I think like if there was limited ulti for the testing, maybe it would have been more fierce because um then there won't be enough ulti for you to just snipe up every
Yeah.
time just because you have ether. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Yes, definitely. I think we mentioned it in the last strategy stream. The the testing phase came with a couple of limitation because there is a very few people amount of people playing at
Mhm.
the a very point in time, and some people may have just benefited from just being playing the game when no one was around. They could pump the price and sell into it and extract liquidity this way. There was also a few injection of liquidity by the bots. I has scheduled them to have different type of behaviors, just protecting the price in different ways, injecting liquidity directly into the trading pool, or I think it was yesterday or the day before in depositing. So we have different models, and
Okay.
um, that's why I relaxed a bit the cutthroat price that was just for the number one and just spread it with number two and number three because I see the amount of energy and dedication across the board. And
A
for me,
lot of energy. A
yeah, for
lot
me,
of energy.
yes, rewarding merits and people working hard is important. So, yeah, it was very intense competition, and I hope everybody liked it. If I may ask, what is the one thing you enjoy the most during the week? It could be just overall the experience, something about the tokenomics, and how do you plan to learn from this phase to prepare for the launch?
Okay, so I enjoyed the fact that anytime I complain about something, it's fixed like almost immediately. Yeah, I think you
Okay.
guys did a great job as well. Yeah, you were like around the clock, anytime, morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever I complain about something. When I refresh my ULTI page, I see that it has been fixed. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's why I noticed there was quick turnaround time. And in real life, you see, trading, real life trading, I think I was a bit careless because I knew this was just test ether. So in real life, obviously I wouldn't play around with ether the way I did testing. Yeah, I would wait for some sort of price stability, you know
Hmm.
to get in. Yeah. But again, if the ULTI is limited, like if there's a maximum or a cap on the number quantity of ULTI that can be minted, I think I might just, ape into the market early. But from what I've seen testing, I would wait, a while, just test the waters with a little ether and go into the market gradually and scale up. I wouldn't just like
Hmm.
rush into the market and just dump like 10 ether at once. No, I wouldn't do that. Like I would, maybe two ether, half ether, like that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would scale up. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in real life, the dynamics will be completely different. More players and trading bots, MEV. The pace as well will be completely different, right? A cycle where just 2 hours here, and we're moving to 33 days. So the dynamics could be psychologically completely different in terms of what shall I do? Because if you put your own money, hey, you may want to play short-term games by depositing and then dumping the ULTI to get a lower price and recycling that ether. But there's no guarantee that you'll be able to do that because a lot of participants are watching you, and the
Yeah.
time-weighted average price will not catch up with the market price as fast. So a lot of the plays we've seen during the testing phase uh, will be really hard to pull off. So, and because it's your own money, right? How many
Yeah.
large players will just drop a lot of ether, get a lot of ULT, and then try to tank the price, which may damage their investment because psychologically, people don't like to see prices going down, even though the pump pool would have grown. So yeah, thank you for your contribution, Ify Cyber, and I think we had gentleman. Oh, okay, he just left. He just left. We'll wait for him to come back.
Okay. So I just want to also say something.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for sometime in 2022. I won 5555 Maxi. I was one of the
Oh,
winners. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I was the last winner actually. When I think you missed my prediction, and yeah, so yeah, that's why I was
Yeah,
like, what, I would
yeah,
make sure I would test, and I got my page verified and everything else.
yeah. So it's I have history for many years doing giveaways because I've been very fortunate in my life, and I want more people to join crypto and have fun. And so on the regular basis, every quarters, I'm trying to come up with ideas. So I did it with Maxi, I did it with Hedron. Um, yes, I did a
Okay.
lot of giveaways. When we were running Staker Up as well, we were doing giveaways in USDC for people that are doing max stake 555. And
Okay.
again, this giveaway. So I keep giving away value money to everybody that just want to have fun in crypto. So thanks again for your contribution. I've seen all your report messages, and when not sleeping, I try just to be very responsive and address all of the issue. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna move
Okay.
on and introduce. We have two other competitors there. So we have
Okay.
0x
Thank you.
93 F3, the guy that you said he was like the madman doing the
Indeed.
crazy streak.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
and we have a Fair that just joined. So welcome to you both. Alex, maybe yourself just jump in. Give your no need to introduce yourself if you don't want to. If you want, it's fine. It's mostly just to get your impression, your feedback, share your excitements or your deception if you don't make it to the top. Go ahead. I'm gonna add you to. Oh no, yeah, you've been added to the stream. I think if you're trying to share something with us, 93F3, we cannot hear you. And Fair is muted.
Hello.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Oh, hey, man. Hey, Stefan. Very nice to talk to you, man.
Nice, likewise.
Oh, man. It's been I'm actually very glad it's over. I've had an absolute blast, but I'm exhausted, man. I'm so exhausted.
you might need a week of vacation. Yeah, luckily that we're reaching the end of the year festivities, so you'll be able to relax a bit now. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man. The only thing I can say, you mentioned the fact that I had a super long streak, and I have to tell you, I was very disappointed because
Yeah.
I reached a 32 streak, and then I was going to be 33, and then I put 11 ETH instead of 10 ETH. I went over the 10x maximum cap, and it reset my streak, and I was so sad. I would have had like a 67 or 68 streak, and I was like, come on, and no, didn't work, unfortunately. Then you all really would have called me a crazy man.
Yeah, so you're telling me that the smart contract works, right? You cannot abuse the system.
Nope, definitely not. It put 11 ETH by accident, and I got 0 bonuses, and it reset my streak. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah. Well, a lesson learned, I guess.
So this is a very good point. So the smart contract works, right? There's no privileges. Everybody needs to understand what's going on. But what will be happening, between now and the launch, we have roughly a month. I will spend all my time, really all my time. The UX is really, really cool already. I think it's maybe 10 times better than any other DeFi app on the market. All those things related to what users could do in terms of mistakes, for example, like that, right? So right in line with the deposit form, it will tell you, hey, based on the amount you're putting in before you click deposit, a warning, you're currently in the long streaks. Are you sure you want to continue? You're gonna leave some value on the table. So all this kind of user experience, validation, feedback will be added to the UI to avoid the mistake you went through.
Okay, that would have been very much appreciated. But hey, we're here to learn. We're here to find out what works and what we need to add into the system. And yeah, that would have been great. But I'm not sore about it. I had a blast anyway.
Yeah. No, I've seen your participation. I've been impressed to see to see people just going really hard at it. But it's great because even that little feedback here reminds me that okay, I got a few weeks ahead of me. The UI needs to be stellar when it comes to clarity, the onboarding experience. Right now, it's a bit more catered to crypto native folks. People don't understand transactions and DeFi and depositing, claiming, those type of things. But the end product should be really also open to the folks that are not yet in crypto. So I'm not throwing everybody, jumping them into the experience straight away. You may have a small onboarding panel at the top if you don't know anything about crypto. That will help you understand the jargon and what they need to do. Because I think I had a discussion yesterday with a friend of mine, and he said, "Steph, I wanted to do a bit of testing with you guys, but I'm not sure for the larger audience it'll be easy." And I just explained to him, it's like, well, it's just like a community bank where everybody's pulling together economic value into a pool, and that value gets reflected into the price over time. So for most people, it's as simple as just doing the one call to action is really depositing, and there's different amount of deposits or things that goes with that here. So that input form in the deposit box here will be improved to the max to make it easy for people to understand across bonuses what do they get extra by depositing ETH versus buying on the market.
Yeah, I really think going forward that would be a really great addition. Like you said, lots of people, especially once we get to the onboarding stage, are going to need like a little bit of help, and that's okay,
Sure.
Especially seeing as though I think a big thing that will attract people is that it really isn't that dissimilar from like legacy investing, where each month you simply will put a little bit away, and that's your only real interaction with legacy investing. So that's one of the things that brought me to it, because that was how I also got started with investments, just with legacy investing.
Yes, I mean, people are very familiar with kind of saving accounts where consistency is rewarded, right? You say, hey, just put aside, or even for yourself, you could say, well, I'm just putting money aside for my vacation, for my 401k, my retirement account. People are already kind of like, grandfather into that idea of like, hey, every month I just put a little on the side. And if UI is really catering to that newcomers, especially with referrals, the expectation is that we're gonna see a lot of like non-crypto native folks coming into ULTI. I want that first time experience for folks to say, hey, how do I get my ETH in the first place, right? How do I get my account ready? And then, hey, okay, this is one recommendation, right? Could be to deposit months after months, and then I'm just stacking up that streak bonus.
Yeah, I mean, the streak bonus is definitely like a fantastic tool, because not only do you get a little bit more after a certain time, it's not really about the amount that you're investing. You have an emotional anchor to your bonus. You're incentivized from yourself because you don't want to lose that bonus, and that becomes more important than the deposit itself. And that, I think that will really keep people to a good schedule, you know, of investing. And over time, you develop a habit, and the habit is the most powerful thing that we have as humans. So if you can develop that in a positive thing instead of a negative thing, then really it's onwards and upwards for that person, you know.
Yeah, we know that crypto was volatile, but most crypto assets are in nature very extremely rare, and they tend to go up. If it's one where that is sustainable over time, it tends to go up multiple X's throughout many years. And imagine if within Bitcoin, right, or within the early days of Ethereum, there was some incentive like that for people to do DCA in, consistent DCA in. Imagine how many times they will be up on their investment, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we're gonna onboard a new generation of investor here, because we're doing that DCA in with a strict bonus, really well incentivized. I think the price is great. The psychological anchor as well. The desire not to break the streak is really rough when you break it. You need a few months to come back. Will help also people just to keep sticking to their plans and not being too emotionally affected by market volatility. Especially, and I've seen you in your cases and other people's cases. You may be in a streak, and that streak itself, because you DCA in, may actually buy the bottom because the price is going down, but it doesn't matter for you. You just average in, right? So you may have like very, very good prices. Depending on when you start to streak and where you are in the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big incentive, I think, with a big goal, of ULTI, I think, is to actually disincentivize trading and to stop people just trying to get that quick fix, that quick boost of profit. You know, you're saying, hey, you don't have to do that. Here, you are guaranteed to get this extra money if you're just consistent, if you are just disciplined and controlled with your own emotions and with yourself. You know, I think it's really powerful, and I really think that you're right. We're going to have a new generation of investors coming in, and I think going forward, the marketing, I guess, for ULTI, I think should really be focused around that, to say, hey, I know crypto is intimidating, but here we can show you that it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. So obviously, I've got I built everything: the design, the concept, the UI. I'm very responsive, and
Fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you very much. And I'm very keen, very keen eye for aesthetics and onboarding. So the current version you're saying, I did as fast as possible just to add features throughout the week, right? Mm-hmm. And you've seen the evolution. The next iteration is really create a comprehensive suite with global statistics, a feed where it gets really exciting because you can see who's doing what, within a cycle, who's taking over, who has the guardians, who is currently engaged in like 10x plus streaks, 20x plus streak. You will see that in the feed as a highlighting good behavior. And I think before going live, I really want that onboarding card at the top for, obviously, if you're crypto savvy, you can just dismiss it and it won't show up again. But hey, this is the value proposition of ULTI. Is like, think of it as a speculative community bank, and highlighting that the value of ULTI is backed by the pump, right? That is a store there, even though the price, in the case of testing, it tended to go down because people were recycling a bit. People ended up with more dollar value ultimately because the backing is there protecting the price, right? So, thank you very much for your input. Anything else to say? And we're gonna move on to Fair.
No, I could just say, one little shout out to what was his address again? Sorry, because this guy kept me up at night. 2C6B number 3 in 33 cohort, brother. I appreciate you making this competitive, but I really wish you would have just left and stopped giving me anxiety. I could have slept a lot more. I could have had a few nights sleep, but instead I just was like, no, he's catching me. God, this guy won't give up. But really, man, I'm really actually glad that you switched it so that there was a third, second, and third place, because honestly, I was thinking like, man, this guy knows what it's like to not go to sleep. You know, he's really putting in effort. He's trying to give Steffi the good data that he actually wants and needs in order to see if his project works. So honestly, I'm really glad you did it, because honestly, bro, you deserve it. You deserve a prize, bro. You did really well.
I guess.
Go ahead.
You like you was lucky because I lost 2 times. Like I overslept, or probably I don't know. I have
this is you.
Also that. Yeah, man. And I also have the question like about that. Maybe it's like in the next, but I had like not idea, but I thought that timer in a ULTI app a little bit faster than real time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it even possible, or maybe I overslept because I used alarm, of course, when I sleep.
Actually, no, I can second this actually. And Luke, who was also in the competition, he also noticed this as well, because sometimes the time did run a little bit faster or slower, and I think that could really just be like a rounding error with the seconds, because it's so sped up. You know, it's really accelerated. And I think just even a small rounding error would really like cause that delay or that extension of the cycle, you know?
Yes, I think, you're right. I think what happens is we're accelerating things 365 faster. So we're communicating with the blockchain hosted currently on a data center in Chicago. And the current parameter of that blockchain is 1 block, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 1 block every second, right? So depending on when you send your transaction and everything, if you're just right after the block has been issued or not, and we're pulling the data with maybe a bit of latency and with the speed up, some small margin of error may accumulating over a few hours. So this less likely to be the case in the real environments, because now you have like a larger time frame that you can divide by. And but thanks for the feedback. I'll actually analyze the log. I just put note of that timing issue to double check that we don't have anything, and just double check also we have 2 audits, my 2 last audits. I'll just ask the question to them, just double check that timing stuff is completely neat. Before you start on Fair, thank you very much, 93F3. I really enjoyed your
very,
contribution.
Very welcome,
that's been great. And then stick around for next few weeks. We'll have more surprises, and I'm sure I've seen you. I think you're almost ready for lunch. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, just Fair, we're gonna come to you, but before we are about to finish the testing phase finally after 7 days non-stop. 2 minutes left. So let's do a quick just review of like the price. Some people just doing a very, very last few seconds play by just trying to tank the price. And maybe if you're playing, some people are playing the ETH game, right? They tank the price at the very end and hoping just to win off based on the ETH. What is the impact on the ranking? So first cohort, nothing changes. Second one, nothing changes. And the third one, wow. We may have a takeover. I thought 16D8 because he had more ULTI and the price is wow. So the ETH play is this is incredible. So close. Wow. I want to see if they're actually battling it out they're actually battling it out into the quadrants. Now it's not pumping. And 89 AC has been pumping the price, then most likely dumping it because he knew he had more ether. So will there be a response from 16D8? I think all the other cohort are stable. There's just these 2 that he's just been taken over, like by a really less than 1% in terms of dollar amount. This is insane. And we have 50 seconds left. 40 seconds. Anyone pumping? Mm-hmm. That is insane. I was not expecting that that catch up. I hope that 16d8 did not. He may have left. Oh, no, I actually we DM'd earlier. I hope he's around and. Wow, this is impressive. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and the testing phase is over, guys. A bigger round of applause to everybody that did not sleep, came in every cycles, every 2 hours and 10 minutes to participate with the streak, with their pumping. I'm really glad that everything went over really smoothly. For me, that was a huge challenge, making sure that for 7 accelerated years, the smart contract is running. So we are good. We are ahead of schedule in terms of security. We are almost bulletproof already, and we have still 2 audits to come in, just to address the minor changes that we added recently based on the testing phase that we'll cover. So that is insane. I think that's takeover here on the largest cohort. I'm gonna reload everything. Mm-hmm. All right. Yes, this is final order, guys. I'll just take a quick screenshot here. So I don't forget. Oh! Things changed last minute. He came back in. Wow. They must have been battling it out for the last few minutes. He may have played the dead man pretending to be dead and rebalance everything last minute. Probably dumping his ULTI for ETH, finishing with more ETH than the runner-up. Excellent. Congrats to everybody. Has been to the last seconds has been an incredible experience. We're gonna go ahead with just maybe a comment from Fair. If you want to jump in, if you want to say something extra, just go ahead. I didn't give you too much time to share your feedback.
For me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I have a list. Yeah. I said about timer. Yeah. I also wrote to them. You.
Yeah.
And yeah. In the beginning, I guess I saw that when I wake up with the alarm and probably missed the like 3 minutes maybe, and I thought maybe it's like something strange, maybe I overslept, but then again it repeated, and I lost streak 2 times, I guess, and
Yeah.
third one I also lost. I had maybe more than 25 streaks, maybe even 30. I don't remember exact number. Yeah. And probably you told that maybe it's because of it's on the server connection with blockchain.
Yeah, there's I think 2-3 reasons I could think of why there'll be a slight offset. Because I'm running a private custom blockchain with different parameters of what Ethereum would be. So all the timing aspect are accelerated a lot in the contract. For example, the TWAP normally should be 20 minutes. It's just 3 seconds. The pump should be 55 minutes. It's about 8 seconds. So any compression like that with microseconds would just create maybe some shift over. So If you have any feedback like that, that could be critical. Just again, feel free to share them by DM. We'll just do investigation. I will look at the logs very, very religiously, and making sure that we were good on that front. It could have been the front end as well, because the front end is doing just a first approximation between the timestamp of the blockchain versus the local timestamp. So because of that speed as well, that might be an issue. I'll make sure that things are clean. And all right. Well, if you had to say the things you prefer the most about the experience, it could be ULTI, the contract, the testing phase itself. What would you say it is?
I have I will say, and I have also maybe in a general question about maybe game theory of the protocol. Yeah, in the beginning, it's my opinion, just like maybe a little bit skeptical on that, but I mean, in terms of game theory, the project just how it built, it's like for me, it's like zero-sum game, right? I mean, or no, or disagree?
Just please develop. So for example,
I mean, because we are playing with deposited ETH, we have a pool, we have a pumping pool, we have a liquidity pool, and without any additional traders or protocols built on the protocol, probably we have competition for ETH on the pool, and people who will receive more bonuses will receive better price of ULTI, and probably the goal is receive more ETH on the beginning. Maybe in the future, you mentioned that also on the tweet on X, that in the future protocol or people will build additional like tools, and it will be like pure DeFi. But in the beginning, must maybe like I think like I know like exactly I say that I mean, or did you understand?
I think I got your point, and I think your feedback is valid, and actually applies to all assets. It's kind of like, hey, what is the additional value created here? And it is clear that it's community bank, speculative community bank. So everybody's pouring some money into ETH there, but okay, we're not adding any specific value, or who is getting the value, the return on investment. And I think this is the same thing for any assets. Let's say you have someone investing into a meme coin, right? For the price to go up, you need people to deposit, for example, their Ether into the trading pool of that meme coin, right? And so who's extracting the most value is maybe the person that gets to it earlier than others, but that could be a classical example. In the case of ULTI, it's more transparent, because the purchasing is collective purchasing, right? We all pull together. So maybe you have an advantage when you come early, because kind of any project, you go to a deserted island and you start building value there. Obviously, the price of the price was cheap at the beginning, and then because you build this value, it's going to be less interesting for people that invest after you, right? This is the case of investment. Earlier investment, if you have a growing value, will reward you the most compared to later investment, right? The people that took the most risk early gets paid for that. There is something cool with ULTI is there is actual revenue in the protocol. It's outlined in the white paper. All trading activity, because it's speculative pool on top, like a leverage play on top of Ether, there's two things that will happen. Imagine that you know that the value of ULTI is backed by a large whale that on a consistent basis is buying the token. Psychologically, what do you think most investors would do when you know that someone is going to buy for years? It's already planned. People tend to buy ahead of time, right? We've seen it with the announcement of the president-elect Trump, that said this summer he had a Bitcoin conference in Nashville, and he said, we want to build a national reserve of Bitcoin, right? And now that he's been elected, there's expectation, and I see that in the media, he's gonna the US will build more Bitcoin. So there's going to be a large buyer that's going to coming in. People want to front run large buyer. In the case of ULTI, the large buyer is the pump pool. And you know that pump pool is not buying today, is buying over multiple cycles, multiple years. And so what it creates is speculative appreciation of what is actually the price, because you know that you have this pool, there's a backing. What's going to be the price, the premium of ULTI on top of that backing, right? Because people are going to speculate, okay, is the pool growing faster than is being utilized? And the value is there on that speculation, which create in turn some sort of revenue, because people will gamble. Right? Whether it's meme coins, whether it's Ethereum, people will gamble. So why not capturing a bit of that gambling value in terms of revenue with V3 1% pool? There's the Ether collected is reinjected in the pump pool, and the ULTI collected in fees is burned. So it's not clear today which is the amount of volume is required for the revenue to be so strong that actually ULTI itself becomes deflationist, because there's part of the fees that gets burned, right? So it could be the case that there's a lot of speculation, and we've seen it even in testing phase. People cannot help it, right? Because it was a bit biased because it was close-ended in terms of time. People wanted to go towards that 1 week target. But it is clear to me that people will not be able to help it themselves to say, oh, okay, we know there's this pool buying. The pool itself, by buying, is generating revenue. It will create some speculative activity on top of that, right? So people are going to try even to apply some of the strategies we've seen and fail during the week, right? To do some recycling and so because of that, I'm just making the assumption that the speculation itself, with a larger pool growing and growing, we've seen it in doing that testing phase. I think this is the design I'm trying to go for. If that pump pool, that large buyer, keeps on growing, that just adds more people joining the party. And the value of the entire asset is the network joining the party. And if you create kind of a financial game, this is what ULTI knows a way to frame it. That is exciting, and for every cycle, any new joiner is not frustrated that he just arrived, but he say, okay, there's value for me this cycle, right? I didn't arrive 10 cycles ago, but I just arrived today, and I can still engage in the streak. I can still apply with referral. I can still be guardians. So it doesn't matter if someone was guardians 10 cycles ago, because I'm contributing today, I'm getting extra bonuses that person doesn't get. They may just get the price appreciation eventually, but not the extra bonuses that are given away for keep attracting new depositor in the pool, right? So I kind of agree with you. It's like, hey, in the early phases, it's going to be extremely speculative, right? You're doing an experiment. You just hope there's enough people depositing in the pump pool to the point that pump pool itself is so big, becomes so big. I don't know what is the number. Is that 10,000? Is that 20,000? Is that 50,000 Ether? That by that point, does become the marketing. You said you have the largest ever growing well arriving on Ethereum, and it will absorb all the Ether in the circulation in the world.
That's possible. Yeah, I mean, also like any, like not any, but many like financial game in crypto is also like almost zero-sum game. I mean,
many
playing
are,
with
yeah.
prices, yeah, because people are speculating, and if somebody took profit, somebody like potentially will lose money. Yeah, because it's like it's a bubbles.
Yeah. And that's I think that's why the model is slightly different from what exists, because we designed it just to be very long term. Like the streak bonus is the strongest, and it's kind of a DCA in bonus. Like, hey, please DCA in, don't go all in day one, right? And then the pump pool buying the price slowly over time is kind of your DCA out. Right? The value is transferred from the pump pool to the trading pool, letting any investor swapping their ULTI back for Ether. And so you have DCA in and DCA out just built in. They are like really the two pillars of the protocol. So as long as the growth of the pump pool is reasonable, like just outpacing the inflation, and that the incentive, the referral bonuses, the strike bonuses, the guardian competition brings more ETH every cycle than the ETH that is utilized by the pump pool, you understand what may happen in people's head. It's like, okay, it's been 6 cycles in a row. There is more ETH deposited every cycle than ETH utilized during the cycle. So which means which means that the pump pool is growing. If you have multiple cycles in a row where the pump pool is growing, like the utilization is slower than the growth, it means that you have a product that keeps on growing to the point that you have critical mass, meaning enough people know about the project in the crypto space or outside, and are able to run with it and saying, will it ever stop? Is that growth of the pump pool will it ever stop? Because it seems to be absorbing more and more. Even when we've seen in the testing phase, and I will share it in my learnings, when the price goes down, if you start being fan of the ULTI product, right? When the price goes down of ULTI, we've seen increased amount of deposits. People not buying on the market just go long term. Say, I want to deposit. I don't want the slippage. I want the extra bonuses. This is very powerful. Some people even sold ULTI just to get against Ether, creating even more of that speculation and internal revenue to redeposit their ETH into the pump pool. So what we've seen over time is the pump pool seems to be absorbing. It is by design. It seems to be absorbing all of the ETH. Obviously, the testing phase cannot be fully trusted in terms of accurate model. But as a designer, I'm expecting as well in real time, if people love the ULTI product and seeing that, okay, there's long-term value, the pump pool, I know it's 10,000 ETH. The value has not yet been reflected in the price. The price, let's say, price goes down a bit. So, this is an opportunity. I got discounted ULTI. Let's just add a bit more ETH there because I got more ULTI for. And they're not going to buy on the market. They're going to just do a deposit, right? Which is going to feed the pump pool further. So obviously speculative. I agree with your point. Like most assets, specifically crypto assets, are extremely speculative. Here, the end game. This is what I'm going for. I mean, the ambition is that the financial game is sticky enough, simple and sticky enough, that across these 3 bonuses, Guardians, Referral, and Streak, cycle after cycle, the pump pool grows to the point that it absorbs all of the ETH.
I see. And also, small question: is it when price of ULTI dump, you're receiving more ULTI by depositing because of its like connected by TWAP?
TWAP, yeah. Obviously,
Okay.
yeah. It's updated with kind of 20 minutes. It's averaging the prices within a 20 minutes window. But for example, if the price has been price has been someone has been taking profit heavily, it's moving on to something else. Because in testing phase, people were not moving on to something else. They were just kind of accumulating more. They were depositing to get even more at lower prices, getting more ULTI. But okay, so yeah, so when you deposit, obviously you're not having any slippage, and you may be candidate for all the bonuses. So there's huge the advantages of I don't know who would want to buy basically ULTI on the market. I'm trying to estimate what is the percentage of people that will see ULTI on, let's say, Dex Screener or any coin listing that will just jump into it without even reading the white paper. Some people will do that, but I don't know if it's like 30% of people that don't even read the project and don't understand that there's actually a deposit that gives you a better rate. Is that 50% of crypto investors that do not any research at all, or is just 10%? So the more people, depending on how many people don't do research, basically these short-term investors that are doing zero research and just want to trade the price, they will actually pay the long-term investors because they, instead of injecting the ETH into the pump pool, they're injecting the ETH into the trading pool. And basically, the pump pool doesn't even need to do its work. People are buying the price of the spot on the market, which gives early liquidity for ULTI investors. So we'll see. That's the unknown for me. The percentage of people that will buy off like directly on Uniswap versus buying from depositing. Right? Deposit is kind of a delayed buying for 24 hours, plus all these bonuses. But if you love the project, you want most ULTI, it doesn't actually make zero sense to buy on the market. you should let the pump will do that for you. Because you're gonna get less ULTI in any case. So
yeah, and with
Right.
bonuses, you receive the better price, of course.
yeah, better price, no slippage. Yeah. I mean, you have to be a bit cautious though because of the TWAP I just explained. Yeah, it's catching up on the deposit price. So as long as you kind of after 20 minutes after the price just dump, let's say like a big candle, as long as you wait that window of 20 minutes, you will see anyway in the UI the price expected for the TWAP. So it will tell you, okay, market, as you could do today during the testing phase, you could see the price you would get for 1 ether onto the swapping panel versus on the deposit box, and every time the deposit box was cheaper. I would give you more ULTI basically.
True. Also, another question about pump function.
Yeah.
And also on the test phase, I felt that when you're pumping, it's like not maybe it's plan as that. I mean, when you pump the price as Guardian, you don't feel like a big influence on the price. Of course, maybe it's planned because if you put more bigger percent, probably as in white paper mentioned, like 33% approximately from the pumping
over the course of period of a year.
Yeah, is it 33% is like a if how is it counted? I mean, is every time when you have opportunity to pump, you pump, or is it maximum?
Yeah, this is maximum if people are pumping every 55 minutes. I mean, every time the timer comes back, that's gonna be.
Okay.
So, let's say there's 10,000 ether in the pool, right? We're first year, and then no one is adding more ether to the pool for 1 year, and all the guardians are pumping to the maximum of their ability. At the end of that year, right, 365 days, there's gonna be 33% less ether in the pool. If no one is adding, But so this is a calibration. This is the pump strength. A few people have mentioned that actually, saying, "Oh, yeah, I wish when you were clicking pump, it would actually print green candles and like, it could be." That was my initial vision, right? I was like, I wanted to create like a pump price, but then the reality is that if you create scheduled price pump like that, people can game it, arbitrage it, right? So if you know that someone is going to buy the price and create a green candle, you will create a rush just before it, but pushing the price, or you have like MEV bot, like bots that say, okay, I'm just going really at before the pump and I'm selling after the pump. And so you have like people extracting value that don't bring in the short term, that don't bring anything to the ecosystem. So I had to revise this beautiful vision of like printing short-term green candle with the hope that the design print monthly green candles. It's not going to be short-term ones, but you just hope over time. And we've seen at the end of the phase, we've seen situation where, yes, for one cycle, so 33 days, like accelerated. The price, the past 2-3 cycles, the last 2-3 cycles, the price was going up. Just some people were selling and just keep going up. So we'll see how the price behaves, but I think it's going to be completely different when it's real money, right? People don't want to destroy their investments. They have more times to think about what they're doing, more volatility across the board. So, right. Thank you very much for your feedback. I will just wrap it up by just checking the YouTube comments and spend maybe 10 minutes doing a debrief. I prepared some slides that I want to present.
Okay. I had a few questions more, but okay, I can.
Okay, give me a last one, and then we can follow up by DM or even publicly. You can just ask your question publicly, so everybody can learn from it.
I mean, from the experience on testnet, people, I think, and from myself, about when you're pumping, you don't feel big, but maybe it's planned. It's okay because I think it's the most thing to be consistent. I mean, the consistent pump may be more efficient than you pump to green candle, and that's it. By the second question is like how to incentivize people, because for example on the test phase I didn't feel also big incentive to pump the price. Maybe I didn't feel in terms of ULTI tokens. Maybe I don't know, like the ratio of ULTI, like you're receiving highly more bonuses by strict bonus than you're pumping the price as guardian. And also the question for the future in my net of Ethereum, gas fees can be high, and like people will pay like their own money in Ether, and it's like if pump not so huge, they also like will think more probably, because we are on the bull market, and we saw already gas way like more than 30-50 even.
Yeah, no, you're right. These things needs to be fully calibrated, but I don't have. I may have like if I look at the last post I did and shared of the Guardians, you can see the amount of ULTIs they were getting is like they were getting about 1 million. 1 million ULTI for 1 million ULTI is about hundreds. For 27 pumps. So maybe depending that things that's part of the learning I'm gonna highlight in the presentation I prepared is Guardians bonus may be a bit too weak. I had so much feedback early on, past 2 months, like this is a game for the whales. There's nothing for the little guy, and so I think the Guardians bonus is a bit too weak now, because I mean the pump pool. This is how the money is distributed in the world. You have a few people that have a lot of money, and there's other people that don't have too much money. So if you want to create a nice party, you need to satisfy both sides. And obviously, there's more little guys that will come in if bigger guys are dropping a lot of money in the pump pool, right? So you need to reward them, incentivize them to come in. And so, I will just do that in the presentation. I think it will be answering your question of what we want to do for the Guardians and the pumps as well.
Okay, nice to talk to you, man. Yeah.
Nice to talk to you. Thank you for the participation, and congratulations on the winning cohort number 2, right?
Yeah, 3rd place.
Good job.
GG.
Oh, third place. Okay, good job.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all. I'm just gonna move on quickly to reading some of the comments. I know Crypto Class, the Baz Bailey, and a few others of I need to catch up a lot. All right. Questions? I think I'm 1 hour late on comments, so it will take forever. I'm just gonna look at the. All right, little comments from Crypto Class. Lots of whales interested, looking forward to launch. Okay, bedtime for me. Too much ULTI over the last week. Good night, all. Good night to you. Okay, I'm not right in thinking that ULTI from Baz Bailey. I'm not right in thinking that ULTI will be traded on other dexes, because at that point you won't be able to arbitrage bots that will take advantage of the price. I mean, ULTI decentralized, so anyone can just acquire some ULTI like any others by depositing or buying up on the market, and then using that ULTI to build up liquidity either on Uniswap, where the canonical pool will be, to compete in terms of like trading fees, or on different dexes, right? Or at some point, I mean, if exchanges want to get ULTI, I have been contacted by I think 6 or 7 exchanges, mid-tier exchanges so far, and say, we have this plan for people building project. How much pre-allocation you would give to us if we liquidity give us if we want to list the coin? And I said, guys, this is a pure DeFi contract. So the business development team just came to me and said, hey, how much token are you giving us just to list your token? I was like, I'm not giving nothing. ULTI is giving the contract is giving the ULTI. if you're promoting it. So I told them, say, hey, you can build up liquidity yourself. You just need to advertise ULTI with the user of your exchange, with the ref link. And yeah, the contract will pay you with ULTI. And they did not follow up. They are more used to the model where they get pre-allocation and they can sell on their users. So, all right. I think there was more conversation between the different testers here on chat. Fun experience, thanks. The competition was higher than I expected. Yes, it was, especially till the end, it was higher than expected too. I'm going to go ahead with a very short presentation that will just do a summary of everything we learned this week. Everything that maybe I learned. And not all of the learnings, but a few highlights. So let me stop sharing this and sharing this tab again. All right. Okay, now you should see some slides. Yeah, this is being presented nicely. So here we go. Just to wrap up the testing phase. So what were the goals? So what we wanted to learn is that, is the contract safe, solid? Because it's an immutable contract and there's no admin functions, no safety mechanism. So once it's launched, it's like a rocket going to the moon. There is no callback. It needs to be clean and perfect. So we wanted to make sure that the contract was working as intended, tokenomics working as intended, and we have a huge green check for that. We're very happy with the experience. 7 years of accelerated testing showed us that all the cycles and the bonuses seems to be working really well. A few things needs to be improved in the UI front, but the contract itself, clean. The UI experience, I had a lot of positive feedback about by testers themselves, and a few bystanders or builders of other protocols actually shared with me that they were very impressed with the user experience, very unique. Product market fit, I just want to make sure that we got something overall that works, that is differentiated enough, but still people want to engage with. And based on the level of commitment through the testing phase, I can tell that, and even a lot of private DM, that some people cannot, because they're not free speaking, they cannot mention ULTI. So some people, even though crypto is a freedom technology, they cannot speak freely about ULTI because they are part maybe of a cult or community where speaking about your mind, being free about sharing what you love, is not allowed. But I know that for sure people are interested. People have been asking for referral links, setting up websites already. I think I have like maybe 15 people that have already bought up domain names, getting ready just to hook up their referral link. So larger influencers. All right. So I know that we got something that the market wants. It's new, it's different. People are excited about it. When it comes to marketing, that was the primary goal, is around testing that, we got a good product, a good UX, contract is safe. Secondary goal was to look into promoting ULTI itself and educating people about the white paper and the concept. So the whole testing phase gave a lot of confidence. I've seen across the board the engagement, the followers, the likes, the interest rising up throughout the analytics on the website. More and more people were interested. So I think we had more than 5 on a daily basis. I think about 500 people just checking out the website, just waiting to see what's going on. So it's really, really cool. We're 1 month away from launch, and think about how many projects are just 1 month ahead of launch, and hundreds of people checking on a daily basis what's going on with the testing, because people are saying we're learning what's going on. It gives them confidence as well that the smart contract and all the testing points above are sound for them. I'm a bit more disappointed. I was expecting the the competition itself to do a bit more buzz, to get more competitors. So this one is like, I give myself like maybe a B minus in terms of the marketability of the competition itself. I thought the price were large enough to bring more people in. I was expecting maybe anywhere between 100 to 200 testers. But a full week of competition is intense, and we got more than I think what most project would get, right? Most projects just launch with barely amount of any testing, maybe 5-10 people tested roughly their UI, their contract. Here we had intensive testing with hardcore testers for a full week and accelerated experience of 7 years. Showcase and then showcase how to ULTI. Yes, the other I think B minus I give to the competition / testing phase was that the limitation of, because of the acceleration and some of the parameters of the competition, we could not really showcase I think the full potential of ULTI, which we'll be able just to showcase with a larger amount of participants. So I'm thinking about that for the next steps. I will share more a bit later. What happened? We started, I think it was roughly 2 weeks ago, where we wanted to start testing. We did about nearly a day, as soon as the first cycle. I think it was just 2 hours. I decided to stop the first round because there was too much ETH deposited into the contract. There was an issue on my side, and that skewed all of the data. So we decided to do a second round the day after. And here again, issue from my side, because I wanted to make the whole experience. As you can see, the experience is very fast and responsive. You load a lot of data. All the data you see in the UI, right? The 70 testers and all your data is pulled live from the blockchain without any intermediate servers. So I needed to deploy that multi-core contract that helps you doing a lot of pulling of data efficiently. But I failed the deployment and that crashed after the first, I believe, was it the first cycle? And it was again after 2 hours. It crashed the testnet. So I decided just to avoid touching the live testnet at all and just work on another blockchain where I was doing any development during that time. And then we launched round 3 after a few days later, I think 3-4 days later, with a lot of improvement. And we're just arriving at the end of round 3, 7 days, simulating 7 years. And it's been flawless. I think every day things have been running smooth, more features being added to the UI. So that was the quick summary of what happened in the past 2 weeks. And thank you for bearing with us during the time. It's a bit frustrating when you commit time to do something and it's not working around. That's part of testing. In that case, I was not even testing the smart contract. The first 2 rounds, it was not so much about the smart contract itself. It was testing the setup of the testing phase, right? So it's a bit meta, but that's what happened. I just want to be transparent with all the steps we took. It may be useful for anyone that wants to launch a project in the future, because we're trying to set a new standard for the crypto space where things are launched really, really safe for all investors. And the round 3, you all are aware about that, but it went really well. A lot of active testers, very few amount of sleep for some, very few competition, 0 contract issues. So that's the highlight. Everything went well on round 3. Okay, the biggest learning, learnings 1. Okay. The first, I think, learning was the testing phase itself, and the design of the competition was a bit limited, and that would allow for people just to kind of recycle a bit of their ULTI by selling it and just basically having ownership of the pump pool while no one was around. Right? I've seen situations where there was just 1 or 2 folks around as guardians, and they were just pumping to the max, selling into it, repumping, and just basically compounding these few bonuses over time. That could not happen in the real environments with thousands of testers, longer cycles, longer TWAPs, traders, bots, real money. If you have your real money, you're very less likely to decide, okay, I'm gonna sell or dump all my ULTI just to hope to re-enter with some ETH. That the price is so low, I shake the market, the price is so low that I can get more ULTI at the back of that and then try to repump the price. That strategy is extremely risky in real life, because you don't know, out of the thousands of participants and maybe hundreds of thousands down the line, who is gonna come before you just to start depositing or even repumping the price. So what we've seen in testing phase, really, that I think that was one of the key, maybe very well used strategy by some people. The largest holder of ULTI, that'll be hardest to pull off in real environments, just because of the pace, the real money, and the amount of participants. The competition could have been designed a bit better. With also, I mean, that was the side effect of learning that. I think it was day 2 or day 3. Starting introducing a max in the UI, a max pumps. We were very aggressive first, just to try to see how that parameters would affect the dynamic. So we went with 33. Even if you are just only 7 guardians, then we increase that limit. But in the final product, we will be replacing the top 3 pumpers by what I call active pumpers. So we are introducing a max of 33 pumps across the 33 guardians. So on average, most guardians will be able to pump up to, I don't know, 20, if they want to, 20 to 30 pumps, right? Most of them are going to be able to pump the price if they wish to do so. If they don't, it's every 55 minutes. So there's a lot of time during 33 days, really, just to squeeze in one transactions. If they don't, if a bunch of guardians decide not to pump the price, basically, the pump pool will be utilized less than it should have been. And so we're going to just be a bit below target with regard to 33% yearly utilization of the pump pool. These new features actually becomes a vote of confidence of all the guardians on how to utilize the pump pool. You could imagine a scenario where the level of activity on the trading pool, people are buying ULTI off the market, that most of the guardians realize that there's actually no need to using the pump pool. Let's save it for, downturns or worse days. Right now, the market decides just to pump the price by themselves. We don't need to use the pump pool. It's going to be very interesting to see that the guardians are expected to be largest contributors, right, in terms of direct capital or because of their referrals or the combo of both. How they actually govern the pump pool. Every cycle, these 33 guardians get rotated with new guardians. Unless you contribute to the same amount for competing on the next cycle. And I think the other side of that, new features, active pumpers, we get rid of the top pumper bonuses, and now if you want an extra bonus, basically to pump the pump bonus, you will need to pump a minimum, right? So it means that there's anyone can get it. All the guardians will be able to, if they want to get the minimum bonus if they contribute to participation. But the bonus is low enough. It should cover we'll calibrate it to cover the gas transaction, right, across 11 to 20 pumps. But it should not be too much that the incentive for the pumpers to pump is bigger than protecting the pump pool. The guardians are here to protect the value in the pump pool and not here just to get an extra bonus because they're pumping or not. So we want to have that extra bonus just to cover gas costs and time spent, but it should not be too strong that the guardians are just overusing the pump pool just to get the bonus and not because it makes sense for the price for the community. So it's just be a bit more responsible about that user. That's the learning. Using that max and min. The other second learnings, the guardians bonus is a bit too weak. It's been said earlier, and I think it was comments on the pumps. And if the guardians bonus is bigger, the 3% will be bigger as well. So There's different models we want to look at. There's 3 flavor of it. Right now the rate was a decreasing rate following the adoption multiplier. We want to decouple from the adoption multiplier. It was very low. It was the adoption multiplier even divided by 10. That's why I think at the very end of the past 33 cycles, I mean, you could have like thousands and thousands of ether being deposited even by a long tail of people, and the bonuses for the guardians was really small. So the incentive to bring around large ETH depositor was a bit lower than expected. So we are looking into different options. A fixed percentage rate depending on the all ULTI deposited during the cycle. Fixed ROI of the ULTI minted. So here's just looking at how much people have minted some ULTI, just to give you some bonuses. Here it looks at how much yourself you deposited as a guardians and how much it pays you. So slightly different variation. Here it depends on the long tail. Here it depends on your own deposit. You just need to make it to the guardians, but then it depends on your own deposit. Another suggestion has been mentioned, I think, yesterday or the day before, was to be the dynamic inverse of the amount of ULTI minted throughout the cycle. And basically, it's an incentive. Say, hey, the less people compete for being a guardians or deposit, the more we reward. There's some inflation rewarded for you to jump in, right? And so you jump in, and the more people jump in with you, the more it collapses the ROI. So these 3 models are very interesting. The overall goal, regardless of the flavor of the model, is to make sure that the overall ROI for the guardians are strong enough. We don't want them to be too big, right? If you want the larger hand of the ROI for the contributor, that could be too big, because then they become a liability. They have too much ULTI for the price. They're already large holder. You want to give them enough to come in, but not too much, so that they become a liability for the community. Learning number 3, people will lose trading. Yes, this is just an example of cohort number 3. They all started with a lot of ether, nearly 900,000 ether. And look at that. This is how they ended up. The bottom 6 of cohort number 3 ended up with 10x or 100x less dollar value that they had a week ago. How did they do that? I have some guesses. I've watched for nearly every cycle a few hours, and once we enable the swap, what happened a lot is that when we enable the swap, people have been going heavy, buying, selling, both sides, and then so the impatient that did not wait for the feature to be stabilized, to get the quotes, to get the ability to unwrap. That's what happened to them. And that's why I'm expecting, because this is the same humans are going to play I'm expecting a lot of people not to read, not to be impatient, and start playing games that are losing them. ULTI is a long-term protocol. The best bonus is the streak bonus. So it's always easier to lose your money when it's fake money. I'm still expecting people to do a bit better with their own real ether, but still, there was some money on the line, right? And these people could not even participate or continue to play. They were just they kind of gave up. They gave up, and they moved on, because they felt that maybe they could not. I mean, some of them had reported feedback, but that they could not win, and that's what you don't want. You want people to be around and play the ULTI game for cycles and cycles on. Learning number 4, the pump pool is an ETH vortex. Yeah, that was the biggest surprise to me down the line. I was not expecting that nearly all of the ETH, I mean, there was about 10,000 distributed to all of the cohorts together at the beginning. And we did 2 or 3 large wave of liquidity injections in different sequence, different batches, different days. Some of it was done via the trading pool. Some of it was done via the pump pool. But in the end, it looks that regardless of the price, people want more ULTI, so they keep depositing because the expectation that anyway the pump pool will pump the price, so they keep depositing ETH in the pump pool with the expectation that the pump pool will just reflect the value. So that's validating to me, even if the test phase was a bit cannot fully model the reality, there was a huge validation that that there's a possibility, a fair possibility that the pump pool start absorbing and more ULTI. And if the amount becomes so huge, that will be the marketing pitch itself, saying, yeah, this is the largest ETH well in the world. And it keeps growing. And buying back the value of ULTI. So great news. We'll see. It's interesting fact. I was hoping that it would just absorb a bit, but not to that level. So I think I'm just about to wrap up. It was meant to be a question for everybody. There was the best play, in my opinion. Just observed most days what happened. There was the best play. In hindsight, what was the best strategy to win the competition? I will just post that as a tweet and let people comment, and we'll see what people are coming with. Well, I'll just share my answer down the line. Next steps: analyze the logs. Once it might take a few days. I need to pull the logs, find a way to analyze them, find a few days to take a few days for what do I want to do? Yeah, get all the data cleaned up and analyzed properly. Then we'll formally announce the winner. We already have the winners, but we'll just confirm that none of them had misbehaved. And then probably next weekend, depending on how fast I go, we'll launch ULTI again on the private testnet. I wanted to do that on the public testnet, so we'll see. The advantage of the private one is I can manage the faucet and the ETH distribution a bit better. So that's the advantage of private versus public. The idea would be to run it for 3 weeks. It's not going to be incentivized, so no competition, no prizes, at least not I'm planning for now. And it'll be 10x slower pace. So 1 year would be 11 days. A cycle, instead of being 2 hours, will be 1 day. So very accessible for everybody. Just want to do a more sustainable strategy, you will be able to sleep, right? And then 1 day will be about 45 minutes. So yes, much slower, but still accelerated. That within the next 3 weeks, we can cover about 2 years. So we get more data. I was thinking about 10x acceleration, but then yeah, you get 8 months of data, so not as exciting. Usually just accounting for some bonuses. I'll just think about how to enable, if it makes sense to enable referrals, but I want to get it done. So even more live testing of all the features, covering all the features of the contract. And the idea would be to use that for also marketing. So if you want to you can come to 0x ULTI and request some fake ether. If you just drop an address, but you will need just to at least post something about ULTI and tag some friends. Yeah, the idea is just to get people on board. Hopefully, some people are gonna be, if I enable referrals, they're gonna be already to be able to test the referral dynamics. So we'll try to test all of these things in the next phase. And this one won't be financially incentivized. It's just and it will be open to anyone, right? As long as you get some fake ETH, it's gonna be open to anyone. Yeah, that's it. That was the only thing I wanted to share. I will just do a quick run through the last comments. Okay, that helped a lot. However, reality on the mainnet will be super different. Yes, they're going to be different. Do we have to provide domain name beforehand to get referral link? No, the way it would work for the referrals, you will in the UI, right, you will choose to copy paste the referral link based on your address, and most likely it's going to be a link that looks like ulti.org/r or ref equal, exclamation interrogation mark ref equal your address or whatever address you want to be as a referrer. And then you share that with anyone, and then when that person click the link, they will be just dropping into the website, and they will be able to see, as a quick reminder, who referred them, and how much more ultis they get. It's 11%, so more ulti if you've been referred. So that's about it for referral. So that's, I think, going to be my week, adding more features ready for that new open-ended test phases with more people. The winner of cohort number 2 would like to speak with you. Please do speak. You can speak. Oh, okay. We have someone new in the back room that just had it. Sorry, I was busy reading the presentation, the debrief, and I did not see you joining.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Well, hi there. You had a pretty nice competition. Congrats! Amazing what you set up on your own.
Yeah, it's a bit hard. No, I think I haven't done any testing of smart contract and tokenomics this way ever. Actually, I've researched a lot, and so I wanted to do something fun, exciting, that gives the confidence that the whole experience has been thought deeply, and also the opportunities to co-build with the early tester engaging is also sharing with the community. Hey, everything is not finalized, and you have the opportunity to be part of the final version of the project.
Yeah, very cool experience. And also really like that it's not a project with a sacrifice phase or anything. So you're gonna seed the contract with the 33 ETH or whatever. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you want to share? First of all, congratulations for winning cohort 2. I think that was I've seen the ranks changing over the week, so it's a surprise. I could not have. Obviously, I don't know all of the different people, what strategies they wanted to put in place, but congrats on what you did. Do you want to share something about your specific strategy, what you did, how the week went? What do you prefer about ULTI, and how do you think that helped you to prepare for the launch?
Yeah, sure. One thing I have to say, at first I was kind of in a nice lead, and at the end I made a huge mistake by getting my ETH down to 3.33, and I wanted to get it back up to 33, so the other players couldn't outrank me if ULTI dropped. But then I was eating some food and I was really lazy, and I thought like, it probably won't dip that much, and at the end it really got close. So I almost got second place, I guess. But yeah, it was very, very cool to play around, and I thought the streak bonus would have taken a bigger part, but I'm guessing in the real life scenario it's going to play a big role. But right now the trading, and of course people could manipulate, not many testers, and was easy to push the price up or down.
Yeah. I've seen people just because a cycle was 2 hours, so you could say, well, there was no max at the beginning, so you could just pump the price for yourself, sell into it, and next cycle do that. And if no other tester were around you at that time, it means practically you're in control of the bump pool by yourself. So I really like that key learning led me to understand, okay, what was the limitation of testing phase, but also really implementing that max 33, that really was at the back of that realization. So effectively the smart contract now is going to be better, with a better protection distribution of the utilization of the pump pool across all guardians. So the meaning of being guardians is basically going to be really take more meaning because of that max 33.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I basically came up with a strategy together with 9-3 f3. I think it showed because we were doing similar things, and he was first a long time, and then I overtook him when the price dropped pretty hard. Yeah, we both didn't get much sleep, so I'm looking forward to doing that tonight. Finally.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you deserve it. You got a hefty prize that will come your way. So,
Yeah, very nice.
Kudos to you. Do you have some sort of like sense why your cohort number 2 specifically ended up in different amount of total USD than the other one? It looks like the other one were more into this kind of short-term recycling game, and you guys were not doing that as much.
Yeah, I think number 3 basically looked at what we were doing maybe and was trying to copy the streak because he was
100%.
one of the only players. He was one of the only players also going for a streak, and I don't think any of the other cohorts did that. So I think that's why we were a little bit different, and we are not traders. So yeah, we were trying to play the long game.
Trading filled us simply with anxiety and let us not have any sleep rather than being a fun thing that we wanted to do. We said directly we could never be traders because we didn't sleep. We were stressed constantly. Maybe we miss a dip, maybe we miss a pump. It was just like, this is why we don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I really loved it when the trading limit came into place. Gave me some rest.
These are the things that I wish I'd. But because I mean, I just came up with the competition concept by myself, and because I'm already coming up with a smart contract, now I need to think about, okay, I'm just creating something for 1 week, and yeah, I didn't have time just to fully understand how different aspect of the competition would be impacted by this accelerated fashion. But I came to this idea of very late, I think day 5. Oh man, I wish I just limited the selling to 5%, like I did at the end. I was like, it would have just been different experience. So,
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. I wish.
yeah. I mean, that would have been easy. Like if I had the max, if the max and that 5% limit on you can only sell 5% of your balance in ULTI. That would be completely the experience. We've seen it actually last day or so. Even though they were still using this mechanism, the scale was just more, a smaller scale. So it was completely different experience, and they had to be more precise if they had to sell their ULTI there.
I didn't fully understand the trading limit, and it also led to me being afraid to swap my ULTI back. So I was afraid to pass a threshold or something. Yeah. But I was kind of
34 streak because I was like, oh my god, if I can't swap back into ETH, how am I supposed to keep up my stride? A 34 streak, I just had to leave it to float away, and I was like, no, come on.
I was trying to message him when I figured out, oh no, it doesn't mean that we can only swap a certain amount and then we can never swap again. But then you were asleep finally and you lost your streak.
Yeah, I did. Very sad. Like, I would say I'm not super competitive, but I really do love doing weird things. And when I actually messaged you and you said, oh yeah, we're going to have like 70 something cycles, and I just had it in my brain like, oh, I'm going to be that one cool guy, because in my head I would be cool for it. I'm going to be that one cool guy with like a 77 cycle. I'm going to be the man. And then I lost it twice, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I lost my 33 streak because I deposited too much, and more than 10x did.
You too. Wow.
Yeah.
We had the same strategies and we made the same mistakes.
I really need to have this UI protection with first a warning when you do the button. Let's say when you're already in the streak, pressing the button should let you know, okay, are you sure? But even before that, when you start entering the value below, it should dynamically tell you, okay, these are the boundaries. You're within the boundaries, or you're not. Visually, it should just give you some guards rails so that you don't do anything that you don't want to do. So yeah, 2 people playing the streak games and making a mistake. So that's good feedback to me. It needs to be improved a lot. Yeah.
One improvement I would say as well is a lot of people didn't read the white paper, so they wouldn't know about the not only the 10x amp multiplier, but also the fact that if I was to example put in $200 more one month, then the next month I would have to match it. So maybe next month I don't have the extra money, and then I could be left out, like left short, like, oh no, I really want to invest, I really want to keep my streak, but I can't afford to this month. That would also, I think, be like a nice little warning to have, because especially for newcomers,
any increase in the streaks should also be come up with a warning to you will have to match. That's the the thing that you have to match next cycle. If you cannot sustain it, that's you need to think twice, right?
Yeah, then you essentially sacrifice your streak, even though you have good intentions to create a good habit, and I think that could actually disincentivize people to either continue to use the protocol or to have faith in the streak system. I think that would be a bigger implementation.
Yeah, I had to put the limits because otherwise it would be abused by people. Just that range. First, the range was bigger, and then I reduced it because it could be gamed, right? Even today could be game. Like you start with the smallest unit of ether. It's called 1 way. Is 10 to the power. It's you divide basically 1 ether by 10 of the power of 18. So very, very small amount.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you just start building your streak with a small amount of ether. If I'm not mistaken, you with a very small amount of ether every transaction. You just pay for gas fees, right? The amount is so small.
Yeah.
And then cycle, once the bonus is at 20% or 25%, so okay, that's I can start now dropping my real ETH. So I had to. This is not the version you guys played, but I had to modify the contract just to impose even a limit amount of ETH deposited. There's going to be a limit. I think it's 0.00001 ETH or something like that. So manageable for, even the price of ETH goes up to 1 million. I did some calculation. Even the price of ETH goes up to $1 million. That amount will be, that minimum amount will be $10 worth of value. So I'm not excluding anyone in the world. And hopefully Ether goes to that 1 million value. Because
I need to buy some ETH if that's going to be the case.
Because imagine now all of the ETH in the pump pool. You can imagine the backing for everybody. So it's going to be big. Thank you, guys. I need to one last word you want to share, otherwise I'm going to wrap up.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I ended up reading the white paper quite often, and I really, really loved the key strategic insights you added under each section. It felt like a cheat code basically that you added there. Thank you very much for this, and thank you again for the project. It was very much fun.
You're welcome. I think this is part of I built it as the best project I would have myself invested in if I'd come in for the first time in crypto. This is always all my learnings past 10 years. Like, what would I love? I look at all the projects, and there's always something I love or I dislike. And yes, I said, okay, what is the best financial game I could to build where even myself would be exciting playing? And so the values were just to say, if I want mass adoption in the protocol, I just made the assumption, create the best game that the most people want to play in the world. And that game needs to be, at some level, fair, transparent, with no privileges or advantages, because humans don't like when someone, let's say you play Monopoly or card game with friends, and one has an advantage because he's been playing the game for 10 years. And you play one night with him and maybe three games in a row, he wins that night. You won't be interested just to play with him. And it was like, okay, he's just, okay, this is less fun. And so that concept of like, making things exciting for, whether you're a large investor, you're a small investor, you think that you can get something out of the protocol. That was a key to me in the design. And it went down to, obviously, the white paper was like, okay, if I want most people to have fun, let's spell out all of the strategy that I could think about the ULTI. Let's share all the alpha with everybody. So there are more people interested. There are better players. There's more things. You don't wait like 3, 4, 5 months of people engaging with the protocol to say, and then there's community streams. Oh, we didn't know about this. Oh, we didn't know this. Oh, we'd have played different. I didn't want that. So I'm sure some people won't read the white paper and discover these things later on. But at least, yeah, I won't be blamed that I just withheld any information. I think I put all of the things I could think of out there. And even today, by doing this kind of this week live testing, we're even sharing more information with people that are interested about the project and currently sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think that's actually very big. Yeah, you definitely didn't hold anything back. It was everyone acted under their own initiative, you know. And if they want to read the white paper and actually get a head start, get a little heads up, then they have that. So yeah, everyone plays on an even playing field, which is also one of the things I really did enjoy, and I really appreciate that you put it in the white paper. Yeah,
very refreshing.
Thank you. It's a bit late for me, and I guess by the sound of your accent, I guess you guys also, it's a bit late where you are. So thank you very much for your contribution. Congratulations also to make it number 1 and number 2 of court, the 33 ETH. And then I will wrap it up with you guys. So thank you very much, and I will catch some rest myself as well, and get ready for getting ready for the next phases. So I'll just share with you guys on X. Thank you very much.
All right. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Bye
bye.
Bye bye.